In this video, we'll get an introduction to modals, and we'll look at some modals that express necessity, lack of necessity, and prohibition. Let's begin. Here's an introduction to modals. Modals generally express a speaker's attitude. They may express that a speaker feels that something is necessary, advisable, permissible, possible, or probable, and they may even convey the strength of those attitudes. Each modal has more than one meaning or use, so we'll be learning all about these modals and how they are used in different ways. So here's a list of modals. There are modal auxiliaries, which are can, could, had better, may, might, must, ought to, shall, should, will, and would. And there are phrasal modals. These modals have more than one word, which are part of them. Be able to, be going to, be supposed to, and have got to. So here's some grammar notes about modals. Modals do not change form, and they do not take a final S. So they don't change at all. There's no endings to them, no ing, no ed, no s. They stay the same. The base form of a verb comes after a modal auxiliary. The exception of that is ought to, which has the base form of a verb after it. And phrasal modals use the infinitive, which is to plus the base form of the verb. Phrasal modals have meanings that are similar to modal auxiliaries. Here are some examples. She can do it. So in this sentence, can is the modal, and we have do, which is the base form of the verb. And this can is a modal auxiliary. Now, can I say she cans do it? Nope. You cannot add an S or any ending onto a modal. I also cannot say she can does it or she can doing it. The main verb is in the base form. It does not change either. Here's another example. She is able to do it. Is able to is a phrasal modal. So it starts with the be verb. So this does change to agree with the subject she. And after the phrasal modal, it includes to, and then we have the base form of the verb. Let's look at some modals that express necessity. These are must, have to, and have got to. Must and have to both express necessity. Must. Must is stronger than have to, and it indicates urgency or importance. Must is usually found in rules, written instructions, or legal information. So it's a little more formal than have to. Have to is used more in everyday speech and writing, and have to is commonly used in questions. Have got to is a more informal way of saying have to. It has the same meaning, but it's usually used more in speaking. Here are some examples. All students must take the quizzes on time. So here we have must, which is our modal auxiliary, and then take, which is the base form of the main verb. And this is a requirement. Do we all have to wear seatbelts? So in this example, we have to, and it's in the question form. So we use the helping verb do, and then wear is the base form of the verb. And it's expressing necessity. Is it necessary to wear seatbelts? Now, expressing lack of necessity and prohibition. So here's the thing. Must and have to have different meanings when they are negative. So this is something to be careful of. There are often errors with these two words in the negative. Not have to, that is the negative of have to, means not necessary. Must not means prohibition. That means don't do it. And this is a very strong meaning. Here's some examples. This assignment is extra credit. You don't have to do it, but you'll get extra points if you do. So this is not have to, and it's showing that it's not necessary. It's not necessary to do an extra credit assignment. It's not required, but you can do it. So it's optional and it's possible. It's not saying don't do it, right? It's saying this is possible, but it's not necessary for you to do it. You don't have to do it. You must not smoke in this area. Now, must not means prohibition. That means it's prohibited. In other words, don't do it. So if you see this kind of sign, it means no smoking, right? That means smoking is prohibited. You must not smoke in this area.